Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Hey, welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. Every day we cross paths with people while knowing almost nothing about what their day has already contained. We hear an impatient voice. We notice somebody seems distracted. Someone close to us answers in a way that feels colder than usual, and it catches us off guard. In that moment, what we feel is real. A sharp response can still sting. Being ignored can still leave us wondering. Grace does not mean pretending we were not affected. But grace does ask one important question before we decide what that moment means. What might I not know? We tend to meet people in the middle of their stories. We don't see the worry that woke them in the night. We don't hear the conversation they had before walking through the door. We may be looking at someone who is carrying fear, grief, or exhaustion so quietly that all we can see is the strain it has placed on their ability to be gentle. Sometimes the person who seems rude is simply being rude. Compassion does not require us to make excuses for every unkind action. But there are other times when a person is not showing us the truth of their heart. They're showing us the weight of what they're trying to carry. And that distinction matters. In the last episode, we talked about the moment before we react, that brief pause when pain reaches us, but has not yet been passed along. One of the ways we find grace in that pause is by remembering that the surface of a person is not always the whole person. Maybe someone you love has been unusually quiet, and you've begun to wonder whether you did something wrong. Maybe a coworker seemed dismissive, and your mind has already started building a case against them. Or maybe a stranger was impatient with you, and you carried the irritation far beyond the moment itself. We do this because uncertainty is uncomfortable. It can feel easier to decide that someone does not care than to accept that we simply don't know what happened inside them before they reach to us. But when we rush to a conclusion, we sometimes create a hurt larger than the original moment. A friend's distracted response becomes proof that the friendship has changed. A family member's difficult mood becomes a personal rejection. A stranger's bad moment is allowed to affect the rest of our day. And perhaps none of it was truly about us. There's a kind of peace in being able to say, that hurt, but I may not understand it yet. That's not weakness. It does not make you gullible. It means you are refusing to let one incomplete moment tell an entire story. Of course, there is an important difference between giving someone room to be human and allowing someone to continually harm you. Some behavior requires a boundary. There are times when love does not ask you to move closer. It asks you to step back without allowing resentment to become your home. You can understand that someone may be hurting and still decide that you cannot keep receiving the harm that comes from that hurt. But most of our daily encounters are not that large. Most are simply moments when another person is not at their best. And that's where grace can quietly change everything. You may choose not to answer irritation with irritation. You may decide to let a small offense remain small. When the person matters to you, you may gently ask, "Are you okay?" That question can mean more than we realize. It doesn't accuse cues, and it does not demand an explanation. It simply makes room for the possibility that beneath the behavior, there's a human being who is struggling and may not know how to say so. Most of us have needed someone to offer us that kind of room. We've all had days when something heavy followed us into a conversation. We may have sounded less patient than we wanted to sound, and we may have pulled away when we were actually hoping somebody would notice we were hurting. In those moments, we would not want to be defined by the worst expression of our hardest day. We would hope that someone could still see beneath it. That doesn't mean that every person gets unlimited chances to mistreat us. It means that before we make a final judgment, we remember what it feels like to need mercy ourselves. So today, when somebody gives you less kindness than you hoped for, pause before you decide you know the reason. You may need to speak honestly, you may need to protect your peace, or you may simply need to offer a little patience and let the moment pass without adding more pain to it. Because the person in front of you may be carrying something invisible. And one day, when the weight of your own life becomes visible in ways you did not intend, the grace someone offers you may feel like love arriving at exactly the right time. It's something to think about, guys. You don't know what the other person could be going through, but you have the capacity to imagine what they might be going through. Ask yourself, what would make me act like they're acting now? What situation could be happening to me that would make me do something like whatever they're doing that's irritating you? And once you ask that question and you take that moment, you can imagine the things that they may be going through. And that's all it takes, is that moment to think, what might they be dealing with? It's a very important moment, guys. Use it. Practice it. Imagine every day. Use your imagination for something good. I love you guys very, very, very much. And you know what I need you to do, right? Go out and pass that on, okay? Later, Gators. Bye-bye.